now a little bit of cloud, but that's okay. The sunshine is clearly here in our studios. Jessica Holmes has joined us. Do you need a laugh? I love your laugh. Look at this. This is Jessica's book. There we go. This is Jessica's book, and it is not a new book, but it is a book that we all need. I have had this for a couple of years now, I think it was when I first got it. Finding the Light in My Screwball Life.
I really overshared in this book. I really took everything that was a source of embarrassment and disappointment to me, which has since turned into comedy and jokes, and put it all in there. So it opens with a story of me just having the most fabulous day, sitting on the front lawn while my kids are having this little lemonade stand, and I'm wearing a pretty sundress, and I'm waving to all the neighbors walking by. And my husband comes out and goes, "Hun, just close your legs. Just close your legs." And I was like, what? Was my undies showing? And he goes, "Hair, underwear, and a pee stain. Let's go." So,
oh, Scott.
Yes. So those types of things seem to follow me throughout life. I feel like my learning curve is way up, and I like sharing.
The book makes the reader feel like they really know you well. You know, we've had the luck of being able to get to know each other a little bit away. I know Scott Yappy, Jessica's husband, was the voice of Sportsnet for years and years and years, so I saw him all the time in the studios there. And it really is an intimate sort of introduction to you. If you don't know Jessica, you need to get this. And then I saw you doing Royal Canadian Air Farce, and you did this. Can we roll that?
Hello! Oh, I am so glad to be back in America, the land that loved me much too much.
And you can sing like her.
Oh, I love singing. I sing okay for a comedian, but it's definitely. I did a show a couple of weeks ago where all I did was sing. I was celebrating my 40th birthday, and I was like, what I want to do is sing, and it was fun. I had backup dancers. I kind of want backup dancers to follow me throughout life now, and I'll just do stand up on stage, and the backup dancers can just
groove out with you. But that, I mean, seriously, a happy belated birthday, by the way. I loved how you celebrated your 40th birthday.
Thank you.
But how do you go about emulating people the way you do? It's really quite spooky.
Oh, well, here's the thing. With impressions, I'm not trying to just sound like a person or do their voice, because they do that just fine. I like taking one tiny piece of a person's personality and then just blowing that part up and making that the comedy. So when I was on Air Farce, I did all the young white women, Britney Spears, Michael Jackson. And
all the young white women. And, oh, boy, here we go.
And so I would just find one thing about them. So with Michael Jackson, it was just finding the gentleness. And it ended up being like a really natural fit. And with Celine Dion, I read her autobiography, and it was sort of, she was saying like, when all of my brothers and sisters were born, that was special. But then I was born, and it was the most special of all. So just taking that sort of giant confidence that we all strive to have.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, she's just got it in spades. And then with Liza Minnelli, it's just imagining what life would be like on uppers. Just everything is so big. The trouble with doing Liza Minnelli is I need to have a little nap afterwards.
So now you're doing this as well. You're doing some motivational speaking. How did you get to that point in your world?
I got trained as a life coach, and part of the reason was I went through postpartum depression after my kids were born. We had those Irish twins where you have your kids a year apart, and it was just a lot of sadness in my life, but I was still getting on stage and doing comedy every day. And when I recovered from postpartum depression, I just thought, you know, I want to still do comedy, I still want to do my characters, but I want to leave the audience with a little takeaway. So things about how to get a little more laughter in your day, or if there's areas of your life where you feel like it's a 5 out of 10, don't settle for that. Don't settle for a 5 out of 10 in your health or in your relationships or in your friendships or something. So I just give people a few tools and ideas about how to make that happen. And
we have a lot of mums who watch, particularly in the 8 o'clock hour. How did you identify that you had postpartum depression the first time?
I was trying to be everything to everyone. I didn't want to disappoint my kids first and foremost, but then I didn't want to disappoint my agents, or I thought my fans would all run away if I wasn't on TV constantly. I was trying to be everything to everyone, and one day I just couldn't take the anxiety anymore, and Scott came in the bedroom. He was like, "Hun, the kids are up." So I was like, I can't do it. And he said, no, don't worry. I'll take care of them this morning, then you come down when you're ready. And I said, no, I can't do it ever. And that I couldn't imagine that life would ever get any easier for me, and that's what depression does. You can't see a way out, and you don't want a way out.
And what was your way out?
Well, Scott just did a little moonwalk out of the bedroom and said, "I'm just going to give the doctor a call." And so it was through seeing my doctor and making some changes in my life. And the hardest thing for us women and moms is just to not need to be everything to everyone. I put on my own oxygen mask, and then I assist others. So it's me, and then it's my kids, and then.
What a great analogy, because we are told to do that on every flight.
I know, and that's
forget.
The only way. Because my daughter made a chart for me called a busted chart. It's whenever I yell, she busts me.
You're busted.
And then they get a little toy if I yell 5 times. It's weird. It's probably if a psychologist were to analyze
Brady,
it.
ignore that. Ignore that part of the Jessica Holmes interview. Jessica Holmes, I love your laugh, finding the light in my screwball life. Get that. Or go to one of your events. You can go to Jessica's website and find out where she will be. I highly recommend hanging out with this woman. I wanted to show her doing the Jody Vance on the Royal Canadian Air Force because I loved it so much.
Well, this is me doing my Jody Vance voice right now. I just don't have the blazer. Okay, over to you guys.
I think we know who's going to be hosting next time Jody's away from work.
Jessica Holmes.
We've got Jessica. We got Jody in the house right here.
We decided to keep Jessica here because
I'm such a sports buff.
But when you were on Royal Canadian Air Force, you did this.
Jody Vance here at the NHL head office where owners are meeting. Let's see if we can get an interview. Oh, there's Pittsburgh Penguins player and owner Mario Lemieux. Mario, your feelings on the lockout?
I support the players.
Right, and?
I support the owners.
Come on, tell me the truth. Who do you really support?
I support the players.
I said I want the truth.
I support the owners. I support the players. I support the owners. The players. The owners. The players.
I said I want the truth.
It's kind of the straight person to the whatever story was going on. I loved it.
Yeah, well, it's the toughest people to do impressions of are people who aren't bat bleep crazy, and so it's I found it tough to get into the impression of you because I admire you, I like you, you're a gal pal. So,
you're so sweet.
I kind of there you go. I let the red blazer do the work.
I loved it. I got to tell you, it was one of the highlights of my entire career was seeing you doing that.
Awesome.
And they said we got to show it, so we did.